Roughly 6 months later, we ended up talking on that same anonymous app again out of millions of people. I was young, dumb, and in love, and had still been thinking about him and thought it was fate. What's going on once again, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If you are new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. Welcome and good to have you. If you are a returning viewer, good to see you again. When a man asks a woman to marry him, he does it logically. He looks into the future and see himself with this woman and starting a family and being together and love her. But many times for the woman, it's not because she loves the guy and wants to be with the dude, but she wants to secure her future and at the same time have somebody else she wants to be with, even though she claims to love the husband. And this woman is the perfect example of that. She says, I, female 28, I want a prior affair back despite it being unhealthy and now being married. I had a virtual affair with James for literally years. It wasn't healthy and ruined potential relationships of mine. Finally cut him off, found a great husband, John, but don't feel physically wanted. So now I'm missing James and know it's a terrible situation. This is my throwaway account. I'm aware that this is about to be complicated and logically it doesn't make any sense, but here I am. Unfortunately, due to the holidays, I haven't been able to meet with my therapist for a few weeks. I do plan on bringing this up on Monday. So if this doesn't even make sense, why are you even considering the thought? Background: I met James on an anonymous social media app in 2012. I was barely 18 in my freshman year of US college, and I honestly don't remember how old he is or was, but he wasn't more than a couple years older than me, and he was in the UK military. I was single, and it didn't start as anything other than a friendship, but as it progressed to something more flirtatious and physical, oh yeah. I just assumed he was single as well. About 8 months in, and after there were significant feelings on my side, he finally revealed he was married. I immediately cut contact and thought that was that. Roughly 6 months later, we ended up talking on that same anonymous app again out of millions of people. I was young, dumb, and in love, and had still been thinking about him and thought it was fate. We picked right back where we were. Gentlemen, you see, 6 months later, she was still thinking about him, even though she found out he was married. She was still considering, and she is still considering a relationship with him in her mind. Let's keep going. I knew it wasn't right, but he sent a lot of mixed signals. I'm honestly still confused about it all, because he literally invited me to come visit him when he was going to have to live in the country he was stationed in. He went along with planning an imaginary wedding and then honeymoon. This affair went for roughly 6 years, I think. I've tried to forget a lot of it. It definitely prevented some relationship during that time. However, when it got closer to me graduating and figuring out the next steps in my life, and I finally point blank asked him if he'd leave his wife, he said probably not. Cue the tears. Oh, so now you want to cry. But you knew very well that the man was married, and he'd probably not leave his wife for you. You knew that, but you went along and still kept that going for another 6 years. And gentlemen, never ever believe the woman that says, oh, I've never cheated. But I can promise you, she had probably been someone that a man was cheating with. She had been the other woman. But let's keep going. It still took months to actually stay away from him, and in reflection, I know our relationship wasn't healthy. I still missed him, but started moving on, doing the Tinder thing mostly unsuccessfully until I met my now husband almost 4 years ago. Well, good for you. My husband, John, male 31, and I just kinda clicked right away, And I can still confidently say he's my best friend. Oh yeah, he's the best friend. That's not good. The downside is we were both very SCX inexperienced. I'd had two partners prior to my husband, and he'd never been with anyone before me. I'm not saying I necessarily have a high SCX drive, but my husband and I moved 4 months ago, and I've had SCX in our place once. One time in 4 months. Well, we'll see. She says, I've honestly given up even trying to initiate SCX because I hate being turned down. How about you just talk to your husband about it? She goes on, I really do love John and the life we have together, but I miss being wanted and the overt flirtatiousness of James. Well, ma'am, if you're married and you're with your husband, just talk to the guy. Let him know what you want, let him know what you like, and you can both figure this out having instead of having this fantasy playing inside your mind how James would do you and how James would be with you. And notice what she said, fellas, in her previous statement. I really do love John and the life we have together. You see, when a woman says something like that to you, she's neither excited about you, neither does she overtly want you, like a tiger wants to devour her prey, like, ugh, I want him. She's not excited about John. When you had your girlfriend in high school and she wanted to break up with you, she's like, I really do like you. I really do like you. But, and there's always a but after. I really do. I really that. It's always that, man. She doesn't love the guy. James also never really gave up on me. And even when we stopped talking, I'd still get a Snapchat or an email every 6 to 8 months, just checking in or letting me know he missed me and hope I was doing well. Normally, I just ignored them, but was petty one time and sent him my engagement ring. He told me it was beautiful and John was a lucky guy, but he'd still tried to reach out. James and I finally had an emotional conversation, I guess, almost 2 years ago, where I had to unfriend him on Snapchat. And gentlemen, let me tell you this. The woman that you're with, your wife, your fiance, your girlfriend, doesn't matter. The woman that sleeps next to you every night, the woman who looks you in the eye every day and say, baby, I love you. There's always a guy you don't know about. There's always someone, some dude, an ex, whoever it is, that she never tells you about. And the moment she get the chance to walk away from you, she's gonna be with that guy. I can promise you that. They are very deceptive, deceitful, and manipulative. I'm not telling you to hate women, not at all, but just understand them, study their mind to understand their behavior and the things that they do. Understand the opposite sex. Let's keep going. The problem is that the more I don't feel physically wanted by my husband, the more I'm missing James, even though he's still married. It's a terrible idea, and I don't want to hurt John. I'm just at a loss. Yeah, you want James back. We get it. And you go into this entire rant for you to try to minimize your feelings for James. It's okay. Let's check out this comment to which she replied to. Somebody says, so truly, let's stop being an idiot. Let's stop playing dumb. You aren't over James. You never were. And thought getting married to someone might help you get over him. Guess what, honey? You are not a child anymore. You're 28, okay? Look, I'm going to be blunt and I'm gonna tell you straight, get an effing divorce. You weren't ready to be in a relationship. You did it in the hopes of stop being in love with James. It's not going to happen because you don't take steps for it to happen. Why isn't he blocked? Why isn't his email blocked? Why do you know he still checks on you? If you were truly over this person, and I mean before you decided to get married to John, then you would have blocked them on everything, and anytime he tries to reach out, you wouldn't read anything but block him again. This person making some great point. You have to start seeing James and John for what they really are to you. James is a lying, cheating narcissist who wants his cake and eat it too. John is really just your rebound that you are trying to force on yourself to stop thinking you are in love with James. Stop playing stupid games because you will keep winning stupid prizes. And that is your heart being broken also, hon. There is no future with James. Even if he left his wife, do you really want to be with a cheater you can't trust? If he can do it to her, he can do it to you. He does not love or care about you, only what he can get out of you. You need to be single and learn to love yourself and learn your damn worth. Stop settling as well. Just because someone is good and a nice person or would be a good and secure person doesn't mean he's yours. If they don't fit, they don't fit. And you should have known it didn't before you married him. Did you not have sex prior to getting married? You aren't getting any younger, and you keep screwing a taken person, keeps your karma effed up, and you won't ever find your true person. Stop with James and block him on everything. Shut that door. He isn't love, he's lust. He doesn't know love and never will. Get a divorce from John. All he is, he's safe. This commenter says a few things that I agree with. Well, mostly everything I agree with. John is not what she wanted. John is the safe guy. John is the nice guy. John is what she described. I really love John and the life we have together. You see, that's not excitement. She doesn't get that oomph about John. John is a safe guy, he's a nice guy. He's one of those guys who just sit there, mind his business, and not overly open with his wife. John is not one of those guys who took controls and lead a family. He doesn't have that character. She wants a man, an aggressive man, and John is not that guy. So this is her reply to their comment. She says, "You're right, I'm not necessarily over James, and I don't know that I ever will be. Where you're wrong is that he is blocked, has been for 2 years. Took about a year and a half into my relationship with my husband to finally work up the nerve to do it. I did tell my husband every time James reached out while we were dating, and the only time other than the conversation about blocking him I responded to was to send him a photo of my engagement ring, which my husband knew I did. Also, I've spent way more time single than I have in relationships. That's half the reason my husband and I work so well is we both like times to ourselves. That was also a benefit of James being in the military. He'd be gone half the time, and why I was toxically attracted to military men for a while. Aha, I'm actually much more self-aware than you're giving me credit for. I dated a number of guys after cutting off James before marrying John. I do truly love John. I don't feel wanted by him, or I'm not truly attracted to him, which is something I've known from the beginning. But I wasn't attracted to James at the beginning either. And I thought John's personality and being my best friend would make up for it, since the sex is good if we ever have it. And we have sex probably every other month prior to moving in with one another. Now it's like quarterly, if that. So going back to the original commenter, you do not love John. Divorce the guy, stop wasting his time, and leave. You do not have that oomph for John. He doesn't do it for you, and we get that. It's okay. You do not have to go into a rant, into all kind of details, trying to minimize your feelings. We get that. The best friend attitude is not gonna blow your back out the way you want, and you know you want your back to be blown out. You're making excuses for that. It's okay. Cut the crap. Stop wasting the men's time. Go your separate ways. It'll be okay. It'll be fine. And remember this, fellas. The woman you're with, there's always a guy, there's always a dude you never know about that she keeps a secret in her heart from you. Once again, thank you for checking out the video. Comment below, let us know what you think. Subscribe to the channel, like the video on your way out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.